Hi, welcome back. It's Angela, and this is Mindful Moments number 4. After I promised you the last one, it'd only be 5 or 6 minutes. It did end up being a bit longer, so apologies for that. But this one is going to be a lot shorter. And we're looking at another strain of component, if you like, of mindfulness, which is treating yourself with compassion and being non-judgmental. So if we think back, I'll read it out from last time. A definition of mindfulness is being more fully aware of your own experience in the present moment in a non-judgmental way. And I found this amazing book by a guy called Tim Stead, and it's Mindfulness and Christian Spirituality. But you don't have to be a Christian to read it. It's really helpful, and he's a practitioner of mindfulness in Oxford and followed the work of Mark Williams, who is one of the leading lights in mindfulness in this country, if not the world, actually. He's a real authority. And he's got some really lovely examples of meditations and mindfulness activities to do, which I thought I'd share with you today. And I think a lot of the time we can be quite harsh on ourselves. We can be quite loving and understanding with others, but we don't share or show ourselves that same level or that same approach. And it always brings to mind that famous saying of Jesus about love one another as you love yourself. Love your neighbour as you love yourself. And we might practice and try hard with the first part of that, but the loving ourselves we find quite difficult. And so this is just an activity with that. And I think particularly it's beneficial because it's about asking God for for us to have a deeper awareness of how much God really cares about us, how much He really loves us, and what He wants for us. And so I'm going to do this together. And I'm just going to read it out and just spend a few minutes and see how helpful you may find this. So what we're trying to do with this particular meditation is call to mind our all-loving God and think about the question, what is it that God most longs for me? And we may have different ways of expressing this, but the ones that we're using today from Tim's book. And we're going to start with our breath and our breathing, because that helps us to anchor ourselves in the present moment. And so, as we've mentioned before, about sitting comfortably and focusing on the breath, breathing in deep, holding it, and then breathing out. Some people use different words to help them focus. So you might breathe in peace and joy, or you might breathe in the names of Yahweh, the Jewish name for God, Yahweh, and then breathe out on the way. You might breathe in Jesus, Holy Spirit. So some people find that really helpful. But what we're going to do with this particular meditation is to try and, in your imagination, your mind's eye, hold an image of yourself where you're just sitting there. You might be that you're sitting opposite yourself and you can just see yourself. You just sat there and you have that image of yourself there. And so this is what we want to focus on now. So may I be safe and protected. May I be safe and protected. May I be free from danger or the threat of danger. May that which is vulnerable and precious in me be kept safe, not violated. May I know a safe space where I can roam free, where I can explore, where I can just be myself, a safe space. May I be at peace in mind. May I be happy and contented as far as is possible. May I be full of joy and liberated, free to become who I am. May my energies flow and my mental health remain good. May I be flourishing, and when I am low, may I know that there's someone there for me. So may I have peace in mind. May I have peace in my body. May I be as healthy as is possible for me to be. May I be as well and stay well. May I be free from pain as far as is possible. And may I be able to be with the pain that remains, without fear, anger, or tension. And may I live with ease and with kindness. May I live with as little stress as possible. May there be a space in and around my days. May there be kindness and warmth and generosity flowing in my relationships. May I see beauty every day. So those 5 prayers for ourselves. May I be safe and protected. May I be at peace in mind. May I be at peace in my body. May I live with ease and kindness. This is what God longs for me. And as you start to just return to your breathing again, and hold that image in your mind. Okay, that's an example of trying to practice compassion and kindness to ourselves. We may find it easier to pray those things for other people, but it's just as important, if not more so, that we're able to pray those for ourselves and to be aware of that need. It's a really strong pillar of mindfulness practice, and if you want to know more about this idea of practicing kindness and non-judgment, being non-judgmental, there's a really good TED talk, which is a short 10-minute talk done usually by experts in the field, and it's by Professor Shauna Shapiro, and I think it's called What You Practice Makes You Stronger. And that's all about her experience of practicing this self-love, this self-kindness. And yeah, it's really helpful. So hopefully you find that useful, and join me again for another mindful moment.